Hey, it's Luke Oz. I want to do a video. I thought of a topic earlier. Actually, a co-worker of mine where I'm at. Oh, that looks crazy on my face. I'm entitling this one "Unhinged" / self-cycle. It's just crazy. I've been watching a lot of people that are close to me become unhinged, become disillusioned by using substances to try to run away from an emotion or an issue, and a lot of it I feel is most of people I know who deal with these issues they have a lot of depression, so they tend to use drugs that aren't so great for you, and but the thing is, those things can make you unhinged pretty quick. My experience being unhinged, and this is just on I just had to let that little bit out about some things that I've seen or heard or I feel that are happening with some of my close people, and it's had to get that out. I'm not going to iterate too much about it, but for me, I know I can really get unhinged in the weirdest scenarios if I'm not paying attention to my surroundings in order to prepare a reaction to a situation or a feeling or energies that may be. How do I shield and guard myself from not picking up those energies? I know I do a lot of meditations for different reasons, for different things I feel need to happen in my life. And when I'm getting unhinged about the littlest, silliest things, that tells me a couple things. That usually tells me I didn't do my whatever maintenance has been helping me stay in a flow motion rather than a struggle motion. I'm tired of struggling. This is what it boils down to. I'm just tired of barely mentally getting by on this 3D level. It's like physically I'm okay, but mentally, there's moments that really everything that the world around us is projecting on us, even though I might not be a part of that group or know what's going on with certain groups around our area, I do know I feel the energy from it, and a lot of times it's not a really good energy at all. It's one of betrayal, and I don't necessarily have any reason behind those feelings. In my experience, I know the system's a little messed up, a lot messed up, and it's something we have to maneuver around in a flowing manner. It's good for me anyways, to step back and look at what maybe I was dealing with the day before, to see what energies I had to deal with that day, or who I was around, situation, stuff like that. I really have to evaluate the day before, because I know what I do today is probably going to reflect my tomorrow, if tomorrow does come, of course. And I can usually figure out where I was lacking to become unhinged. It's absolutely normal to do so, and I think that's why I work so hard at trying not to. Because I've always been one to work outside the norm, and finding out that the norm is actually not the greatest way to live, for me anyways, and for a lot of people I do know. Like, the system doesn't work. Really doesn't. It works for the people that are gaining monetary energy, but that's about it. It works for the people paying that money as far as learning lessons and learning coping skills, because a lot of us do know that we are not, equals in the mind's eye of people who are in authority on this level of living. So it's really easy to become unhinged, I think, when you're paying attention to those things. And it's one thing to pay attention to your surroundings and the energy. It's another thing to consume your surroundings and the energies around it. Being able to be around energies and not allow them to consume you. I've found that when I'm consistently taking time for myself to regroup, recharge, ground from whatever, and it could be even just a family event per se, and the energies are around and you meet up with your family, and I still need to take a break from that, because as a healer, you soak up energies really quickly, and it can be taxing to a certain degree, depending on what you're dealing with. Even if it's a funny, a really fun event, you have a great time, I still have to step back and, take some time for myself to regroup and kind of just let everything sink in, or, no, it's been something I've learned that I've needed to do by connecting with my intuition and allowing, allowing, point blank, allowing me to be, you to be. And when I do that, there's an equality to that. So I'm not judging people. It puts me on a platform of not judging and just allowing people to be who they are. And it's very tough, especially like in the line of work I am in with the trucking company. It's because a lot of the drivers, they don't have great lives. A job that once was really good paying and kind of fun to do, depending on how you are, where you're going and where your stops are and everything. It could be a really great time. I had a great time in the industry driving for a little bit and decided I couldn't keep it going because I didn't feel, I felt kind of stable, but not really. Having to go, miles and miles on end, weeks at a time, just really wasn't what I was about, because I didn't feel I was really serving my true purpose. And, the current job I have now in the trucking industry, I think I serve my purpose to a degree, because there's a lot of drivers that will come to me and want to talk to me and ask about how, because everybody here knows I've been in trouble recently, and they're like, well, how are you getting through that? And how are you doing this? And not all of them do that. There's a few, though, that need a little advice or a little direction here and there. So that part of the job is awesome. That's when I feel like I'm really being of service, and keeping our trailers intact and running on the road. That's, it's a great service too. I mean, it was at one time the American dream to be a truck driver, to move products, to be, one of those vital workers, that we rely on to get our foods and all of our goodies, to our stores. And I just didn't feel any stability. But since I have to deal with a lot of different energies throughout the day, dealing with truck drivers and so on, I always have to sit down and refocus back to what I want to manifest. Doing my 369, that always helps me. It always puts me in a good frame of mind when I'm, and this is writing that whatever, you're writing as you already have what you want at 369 through every day for 30 days. This is just a little practice, and I've already did one of them, and it's manifested. It's so cool. It's been a great process, and I think it's not just the action of doing it, it's the belief system that I have. It's the belief system I carry. I realize when I've been given a breadcrumb to go a little bit more deeper or exercise something in a way that's easy for me, and because I need all the help I can get as far as learning things. And I do have a learning issue, but I get up every day and I suit up and I show up, and I try not to be unhinged. I try not to go off the deep end, because I get a little bit OCD with stuff. I get a little bit manic at points in the day where I feel energized and I just mumble off a lot of stuff. It's the trucking industry, so you can pretty much say what you want most of the time, but still, it's one of those things I notice about me that I'm just like, what is going on? But then I realize I'm picking up downloads, I'm picking up energies all the time. And I have to say, meditation and journaling, gratitude journal preferably, because I found out when I stay grateful, my expectations go to a low. It's like a default now, because I've been focusing on it and practicing it, and it's pretty amazing being able to do that, because that's something I tried to do for most of my life and just wasn't able to key into it or lock into it, enough to see how I can live my life without expectations of others. When plans or things fall through with people, I don't get angry like I used to. I don't, because it's pointless. Who am I to try to make somebody do something? Or it's one of those things. What I mainly do, I think, is I watch people become unhinged at certain points, and then analyze why. And if I can figure out why, then that's another note in my notebook about what not to do. So I look around and I kind of look at things that aren't working for people and try to stay away and do the opposite. And it usually pans out really well. And it's about perception. It's about perspective. It's about where do you want your reality to be? Because you can change it in any given time. You can restart your day at any given time if you have the belief that you're able to. And that's the whole thing. This is all based on belief. It's a belief system. I went to drug and alcohol class today, and one of the things we talked about is there's a part of the brain that when you're thinking about going out and using again, that, and it's a split second, I was told, that your brain actually says, oh yeah, you can do this, you survived this before, go ahead and do this. But it's like a split second, and then from there, you know, from here to here. And so I said to the counselor, I said, well, what about because my automatic default when I'm feeling the urge to do a drug or something that just never did anything, but I still got that addictive side to me, you know. I always play the tape through. I think back to, I go to the worst times ever that I had while using, and then I remember the feeling I had when in use, at the worst time of in use, and I envelop that feeling. I actually feel that all over again, and that keeps me from picking up that drug, believe it or not. But I really have to visualize and sink in that feeling in order for me to make the right choice. I've been very blessed. I haven't picked up meth in 23 years after 16 years of use. And that was just a point of me getting tired of being tired. Me getting tired of going to jail. Me getting tired of not being able to look at myself in the mirror, because I knew what I was doing to my body, and I knew what I was doing to my mind, and I knew the only place I was gonna go was either to the grave or jail. And you want to talk about being unhinged? Oh boy, big time, all the time. So I choose, now that I'm older, of course, try not to become unhinged. I mean, I got unhinged on Saturday at work, and I'm not saying that anybody's gonna ever be perfect, but you know, there's a time and a place for everything. There is a time to be unhinged, but I have to figure out when that is and how the boundaries are gonna help me progress to where I want to be. So I have to pick and choose. And when I keep in the forefront of my brain that, you know, everybody's going through something, and nobody has this perfect life, you know, I have to keep that in mind when I'm reacting to one's hostility or arrogance or, you know, just straight up rudeness, because it happens a lot. I have to look at them. And most of the time, since I am a healer, I pick up energies really quick. So I already know where they're at when they walk in the door. So I kind of already know how to interact with the people. But meditation and consistently aligning myself and checking in with myself to see how I feel about how the day went, or how I reacted to things during the day. Is there a place where I could, you know, enhance or do better? And there always is. You know, I don't always pinpoint it right away, but you know, some days are really good and I feel like I've been on my game, and then something else comes through. So and that's where expectations come in again. You know, if I do, like, say for instance, I do a video, I don't have any expectations that people are gonna watch it, because I'm not doing it for other people. I mean, I am doing it to get out the word and get out the lessons, and you know, and learn from people that have input on these videos as well, and ideas. But mainly I do this for me, because right now it's one of the easiest ways and most affordable ways to kind of put it out there that we're not alone in this. We have a community of people, and it's about letting like-minded or people that want to be rid of old ways of thinking and living life, these are the people that I try to reach out to mainly, because those are the people that are going to receive the energy the best. And to the people that don't give a fuck, I still plant a seed, but it's up to them to water it. And I'm not saying that I got answers for everything, or I'm the best healer, Reiki master, none of that. I know I'm good, and I know I'm sufficient, and that's good enough for me, I try to be the best at everything I do. But that's the thing, I don't carry too high of expectations of myself, so that kind of allows me to be better for some odd reason. It doesn't make sense how it works with my brain. And I don't know if it's because of dyslexia or what. Everything seems backwards to me. The way I operate, the things that work for me seem backwards compared to other people. And that's when I usually know I'm on the right path, because I'm not doing what everybody else is doing. And I'm not becoming unhinged because I'm not doing what they're doing, focusing on what they're focusing on. I have to continuously focus on myself in order to keep my spirit in the best shape that I can, in order to help my family, my friends, those who are looking for help, and also to be able to be open-minded enough to learn something from people like me, because I don't have all the answers, and I know there's several ways to enhance your spirit, and I'm all about learning, and I'm all about raising the vibration, going higher. And those moments when I become unhinged and I just want to degrade myself, I say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And all that depressive, self-loathing talk or thinking just dissipates, because I am now being truly authentic with myself. And I'm grateful. I've been through hell and back. A lot of us have. I was taught some things to help me enhance my life, and to help me move forward, and to help other people move forward. Because initially, if I'm not moving forward, then I'm not going to help anybody else, right? I got all the experiences of, if it's about relationships, I know a lot about relationships. I've been in a lot of the same types of relationships, just with a different twist to it. And it's been a trip. It's been, for a while, it was just really heartbreaking. And as I got older and I was going through relationships, and I was noticing, and this goes back to being unhinged, I was noticing if I'm putting too much energy towards a person or a situation, 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna work in anyone's favor. And granted, I don't regret any of my relationships that have ended, because a lot of the times we admit to one another that we learned something from each other, and if that's all that comes out of it after all the promises or all the lies or whatever it was that created us to no longer be around each other, we were still able to say, well, at least I learned this. So we didn't come out empty-handed. And I'm still experiencing the relationship thing. It's great. It's good to have a close partner that has your back, that is honest, that is authentic as possible. I'm not the best at being what's the word? I'm not the best at always being upfront and honest about things, because I do care about people's feelings. But and this all depends on who I'm dealing with. There are certain people I, buy time before I say anything to them, because I know the sensitivity and the severity of that can really cause people to trigger on weird ideas, depending on who you're dealing with. A lot of the people that I talk to and I'm close with, we all have like ADHD, and we all have some kind of disorder, and a lot of it's been drug-induced disorders, from using drugs, and things come about and our mind goes, and some of us never come back. Depression is a bitch. Everybody gets it. I mean, it's everywhere. It's like, how in the heck? I know a lot of times my coworkers, they look at me like, what the hell's this guy on? And I'm high on the fact that I made it another day, and I didn't feel like killing myself. I didn't feel like killing somebody else, and I was able to talk to myself kindly and give myself back the self-love that I deserve. And when I'm able to do that, I no longer start to become unhinged about small things or big things. I just go with the flow and try to be as proactive as I can with finding solutions to things. There's a lot of people going in with this shift of all the planets, just everything is just like all at once going through a cycle, and a lot of people, I think, are noticing it, but a lot of people are just reacting to it, and it's crazy. It's one thing to sit there and instead of reacting, think about it for a minute. Because there's some way you can shut off your head and like look at things from the bigger picture of what's going on. And then when people finally figure out the bigger picture, they're not happy about that and don't want to fucking deal with that. So the depression and drug use and craziness, kicks in. I'm fine with not knowing what's going on out here. I'm good with that. I'm connected with things that are going on more on the spiritual side of things rather than the physical. And that makes my life here a lot easier. So it's win-win. Self cycle deals with, going through the changes, doing an inventory of oneself, looking at what you could do better, making goals to improve what you want to do better, writing a 369, meditation on it, Reiki about it, if you've never got Reiki done, find a Reiki practitioner. And it was the best it's probably like the number one coolest thing I ever did for myself to help me, because before I got attuned and got into it, life was just like really hard. Like, it was very emotional. It was very, I was attached to everything and anything, and it was so weird. As I look back on it now with all the work I've done, it from this perspective, it looks so weird. Like, I didn't know what I was doing ever. I had no clue. I was just going through motions. I was just doing what everybody else was doing, and the universe showed me I just don't function like that, like the normalcy of things. I'm not normal, obviously. And normal now looks just freaking weird to me. Just shit's crazy. I don't know what's going on. That's why I kind of stay in the dark about what's going on outside here. And, I just can't. It's just not my, it's just not a feng shui looking situation I want to be a part of, I want some feng shui in my life. I want things to be flowy. I'm not saying I want life to be the easiest it can be, but I do think people deserve, when you go through a struggle, people deserve to be able to recharge after that. If you can't find time, place, or a situation, recharging is huge. It's really easy to get, like, when you go through a serious situation, losing family members, so on and so forth, divorces, whatever it may be, getting cancer, stuff like that. If you can just turn off your head, turn off the brain up here for a minute when things go down, just kind of glance at the bigger picture. Look at what situations have come about with whatever this, whatever. This is just really general. Look at it and write down what you're grateful for, that person, that place, or that thing. And see what feeling you come up with. See if you don't have a perspective change on a situation. Take a moment. When I say a moment, take at least 5 minutes and write down something you're grateful for. It's worked for me a lot. Everybody's different. There's several ways to do this. If you need help, research. Need help, hit me up. You need, everything's a choice. I know for me, I choose to not get unhinged, to not lose my cool, to be open to the self-cycle that I have to go through quite frequently. And just be grateful that I can do that, I'm grateful I can expand my mind. I can expand the creativity that I do have. Things are going to be better. Things are going to get better because I'm going to choose them to be better and allow myself to be a better person as well. So that's just a little something I wanted to throw out there. I wasn't going to do this video, but then I went on TikTok and I talked about I was going to do this video called Unhinged, and it was getting late and I got a shower, started feeling all relaxed, and I was like, shit, I got it. It's, part of, integrity, and no matter how tired I am, put out what needs to be heard by whomever it needs to be heard by. We can all get through this on a flowy type of way. You just gotta choose, then make the goals to get there. Once again, this is Lucas. Thanks for, if you watched the video, thanks for watching. Got any comments, please like, please subscribe. Pretty soon here, I'm gonna be putting together some packages that could be bought on how to do certain things to heal certain things. So, yeah, things on things, about things. I know, I'm tired. It's time for bed. It's been a great day. Have a close friend that had to go to the hospital today. I got her in my thoughts right now, and her in my energy, because I wanted to heal. So I'm gonna do some meditation on that, call it a night, so I can start fresh tomorrow and be the light in somebody's life. That's what we're here to be. Lights, guide lights, to help people get through stuff. So as always, namaste, because the weirdness in me uplifts and knows that the weirdness in you can do anything. Have a great night.